LaExcellence IAS Academy, ಭರವಸೆಯ ಬೆಳಕು.
This one. Read it and then tell. Does it have a time frame? Recently, Supreme Court set a time frame for 3 months, right? Yeah, the law does not provide for any time frame. The Kesham Megachandra case, in which Supreme Court said that it has to be done in reasonable time, that is 3 months. And then the nominated legislator cannot join any political party within 6 months of being appointed to the House. Join within 6 months. What about the independent member? They should not join. What if he joins? Defection case can be filed. Filed by? Decided by? Can be filed by? Any of the member. We adopted parliamentary democracy based on British model, but how does our model differ from that model? India is constitutional supremacy. UK is parliamentary sovereignty. This one, second statement. Is that right? Think over. Right or wrong? Wrong. Usually constitutional benches decide about the constitutionality of the cases. Then that statement is right. First statement is also right. So equal powers now. Back then we saw about exclusive powers. This is equal powers. So how does it happen? Like to create all India services. Rajya Sabha power. How? Empower Parliament to create all India services. So the article number 312. Nice. So amending the constitution, does it have equal powers? Yes. Removal of government, just we saw that no confidence motion is can be introduced only in Lok Sabha. And making cut motions, when will the cut motions be introduced? During what sessions? Budget sessions. There are how many cut motions? Okay. 3 cut motions. And then what are they? Can you define them? A closure motion is different. Cut motions regarding budget. Economic cut, token cut, policy cut. Can you define them? They can have the definitions of those 3, and then they can match them, and then how many pays are right, they can ask. Can you define them? ₹1 for token cut. Okay. So go and read regarding that. Have some clarity. Token cut. Like there is the meaning in the word itself. Token. As a gesture of token. So I have some issues with this. So it should be reduced by ₹1. So economy. I have issue with the economy of this thing. So it should be reduced by this amount. Policy, I have problems with the policy behind this particular demand for grants. So have more clarity on that. Once you read that, you'll have clarity, because first practice it, make mistakes, then you can understand that okay, this is where I'm making mistakes, and then you get more clarity regarding where I should focus on when you read it again and again. So this one, which one has the answer? First, D. So what are the, how many statements is mandated by FRBM Act? 3 statements. Can you name them? Midterm. There is macroeconomic framework statement. Another 2. Fiscal policy. Medium term fiscal policy statement and fiscal policy strategy statement. A parliamentary system of government is one in which this can be a philosophical or conceptual question also that we have seen again and again. So what is the answer for this? B. Just now you said that it is responsible for only Lok Sabha. When Lok Sabha is not there, it is parliament. Okay, it's just the word, but it is different. It has to be responsible to Lok Sabha only. But when Lok Sabha is not given, if parliament is given, then it is definitely responsible towards the parliament, because Lok Sabha is a part of the parliament. The President India can summon parliament of such a place as he thinks fit. Can he? How many sessions have been mandated by the Constitution of India? 3. 3. It is not mandated. It should not be more than 6 months. But still we have adopted 3 sessions. So the second question is the similar on the similar lines, that Constitution of India provides for 3 sessions. It doesn't. It neither mandates, it neither provides. There is no minimum number of days that parliament is required to meet in a year. Is it right? Yes. Wrong. How many days is mandated by the Constitution then? How many? How many? 14 days. 14 days in a year. Someone was telling mandate it for 100 and 120 days. Because they are sitting for only 60-70 days. So it is not mandated, but some Venkaiah Naidu, the vice president, the ex-vice president of India, suggested that it should be mandated. Not yet. Office of profit, do you know that? This can be eliminated through elimination technique. How? Defined in the Constitution. If you eliminate that, you'll get 1 and 2. But I really didn't know at that point of time whether it was amended 5 times or 6 times. But when I eliminated this question, I got the answer for this question. So try to eliminate as much as possible. Which one is this? Why? What is subordinate legislation?
Executive, they'll give the framework, and within that entire framework of the law, the rules, sub-rules, the rules, everything has to be laid by the executive.
Law is kind of a skeleton. Rules is a muscle and blood. So that's why the rules made by the executive become subordinate legislation. Because the executive is subordinate to the parliament. It's not superordinate to the parliament. This you should have clarity about. And what is Committee on Government Assurances, Rules Committee, Business Advisory Committee? Who's the head of Business Advisory Committee? Speaker. Read more about that and have clarity about that, because it's in 2018 they asked the questions. It might come again. So this one, can you eliminate any option in this? Any statement in this? How much is the number? 6? 50? 10%? 10%. So when you eliminate 3, so it is B answer. So private member bill we used to talk about, like the private member is presented by member of parliament who is not elected but only nominated by the president of India. Who is private member then? Agreed. Recently there was a private member bill called unemployment allowance. I thought if it was passed, I would be beneficiary of that. But sorry, I was not. So what is the answer for this? Hey, we will not go into that. We'll talk about private members bill. Okay. And know the difference between private member bill as well as public bill. How many private member bills have been passed? 3 as of now. I think it was 14 until 1970. No, even the ruling government MP who is not a minister introduces a bill that becomes a private member bill. Any member of parliament other than a minister. So this one, can no confidence motion be a tool? So yes, all. So this one we have looked at it. The parliamentary form of government. Executive remains responsible to the legislature. Where is the executive independent of legislature? Presidential form of government in which country? America. A bill pending in Lok Sabha lapses on its prorogation. Does it? What if a bill, second option, first option is right. But second option, a bill pending in Rajya Sabha which has not been passed by Lok Sabha shall not lapse on dissolution of Lok Sabha. Is it right? Does not lapse. But what if when a bill passed by Rajya Sabha is pending in Lok Sabha, will it lapse or not? Will it lapse? Depends on what?
If Lok Sabha is dissolved,
if it dissolved, will it lapse?
if already President has called a joint sitting, then the dissolved Lok Sabha will participate in the joint sitting.
Dissolved Lok Sabha, not reconstituted Lok Sabha will participate.
Dissolved Lok Sabha will not participate.
They will only participate. Once dissolved, they can I think you should have more clarity on that. So this, once we talked about All India services, this is similar provision which is in Rajya Sabha having majority, which if it passes a resolution by such a certain majority, the parliament will become authorized to legislate on state list. So these are all factual matters which you should know. So this is again parliamentary system. How Council of Ministers is responsible to Lok Sabha. If it was parliament other than Lok Sabha, would it be right? Yes. This one we talked about amending the money bill and then giving recommendations. Please answer this as fast as possible. We are running out of time. Cannot vote on demand for grants, right? Can it discuss or not? It can discuss. So third statement is wrong. When a bill is referred to joint sitting, what is the majority? What is the effective majority? Can you define it? Effective majority. Absolute majority. Absolute majority. See, absolute majority is that membership of the house is 545, right? So 540 by 2 is absolute majority. If effective majority for this, if there are 5 vacancies in the house, then it becomes 540. 540 by 2. This is effective majority. And then simple majority is that the majority of the people present and voting. Okay, there are 100 people present and voting. That means 51. Okay, the special majority, you already know that. This one, I don't think we should discuss about this. Do you want to? Do you want to answer this? Why? Is it tough? Which department is responsible for preparing budget? Finance Commission. Which one?
This department under Ministry of Finance.
Department of Revenue is also a department under Finance Ministry, but there is Economic Affairs Department which prepares budget. So when you eliminate first one, you'll have B and C. So second one, is that right? Third one, is that right? Third one, third statement, is it right or not? Right. The public account doesn't need any authorization by Parliament of India. So it is wrong. So it is only 2. So only CFI, the withdrawal of money from CFI needs authorization by the Parliament. And once, even in contingency fund, you can withdraw in the first instance and then it can be authorized later. Largest committee. Do you know how many members in this? Public accounts. PAC. How many members? If you don't know how many members, how can you tell that which one is the largest committee? This is 22. 15 plus 7. So this is also 22. This one 30. So this becomes largest committee. So is there mention of no confidence motion in the constitution? Parliamentary procedures. Yes. Lok Sabha only. That we know. Because it is responsible for Lok Sabha. So what is this? Okay, second one. Not all the states, half of the states. Okay. So this one 25 members they are given. This you can eliminate it. And then 2, 3, 3 only you'll have. Which one is correct? Both. Does it need consent of the state while implementing the international treaties? No. With respect to that, the parliament doesn't need any consent by the states. What will follow if money bill is substantially amended by the Rajya Sabha? May not accept it. So if it accepts it, it becomes a part of the law. If it doesn't accept it, it doesn't become the part of the law. So you within the parliament, you have to know what is the composition of the parliament, what is the qualification for the members, what is the procedures that take place in the parliament, and what can be the other aspects of parliament, like comparing the Indian parliament to the other parliaments, other legislatures. And then when you compare legislatures, you can also compare legislature at union level as well as state level, like the powers of the state assembly as well as powers of union assembly, parliament. So in that you can go through this concurrent list. That's where the comparison comes, not in the state list as well as union list. Is cabinet defined in the constitution? Is cabinet mentioned in the constitution? It is mentioned in the constitution. Article 352. It was no. That is Council of Ministers. Cabinet. Cabinet is a smaller body which consists of cabinet ministers. Not make the law. We'll talk about that. This is part of executive. Does constitution classifies it? So this one is there in the constitution? 15% ka? Okay. Which amendment act? 91st or 89th? 89 or 91st? 91st. Okay. Read that. So we talked about Attorney General and Solicitor General. Which one is mentioned in the Constitution? We talk about, we see more often news Solicitor General. Where is he mentioned then? Try to look into that. UPSC can go into deeper aspects of it because it is repeatedly mentioned. Solicitor General Tushar Mehta, by name. Does he does he resign once the government gets dissolved or suspended? No? Is it mandatory? That is the practice. So when it says that Constitution mandates it, according to the Constitution of India, it is wrong. So this is which ministry that implements one particular scheme, one particular act. So that you have to have more clarity about it. There are recent initiatives by like Swamitwa, which ministry undertakes that. Swamitwa. So read about that. Underline the cabinet form of government. This is again the same thing that we are discussing about, like how it is responsible towards the government of to the people. Who is it vested in? Huh? The executive power of the Union of India is vested in President. So Prime Minister is the ex officio chairman of the Civil Services Board. Is he? Who is then? See, if you're saying no, there should be some alternative, right? Think about this, because UPSC has the habit of asking taking cues from the previous questions and asking similar kind of a question where it repeats, or else sometimes the other aspect of particular organization or board or a person can be asked. Like Civil Services Board is headed by Cabinet Secretary, CabSec. The President shall make rules for the convenient transaction of the business of the Government of India and for the allocation among the ministers of the said business. Is it right? No? Yes or no? In whose name it is expressed in? President's name, but not Prime Minister. So second statement is wrong, but the first statement is correct. President shall make the rules. I think Article 52 or 53. Consider the following statements. Attorney General of India, he can take part in the proceedings of the Lok Sabha. Can he? Can he be a part of committee of Lok Sabha? Can he speak? Can he vote? So what is the answer then? 1, 2? D. 1, 2, 3. Right. And judiciary is another favorite subject. What is Article 142?
Advice from the
143, that is. 142? To do complete justice, the Supreme Court can do many things. Does it that the constitution defines efficiency of the administration? Yes or no? Does it define or not? No, it doesn't define. That's when if you eliminate that, your answer will be easy. Which one is the answer then? C. And then this one, with elimination technique, you can get this answer. Very easy. First, does the constitution define civil contempt and criminal contempt? Which law defines it? CRPC doesn't. There is separate law for contempt proceedings. So this was in the news, the contempt proceeding regarding Prashant Bhushan. So that's when the question was asked. So when you eliminate this thing, the third option, you have A and B. But what is the difference between A and B? Only fourth statement. The parliament is vested with powers to make laws on contempt of court. Is it? Then that is the answer. 1, 2 and 4. So is there a difference between attorneys and then the legal and government law officers, public prosecutors who was called as? So is there a difference between them and attorneys? Yes? No? They are also called advocates. Both are also called advocates. Both are advocates. Both are advocates. They're lawyers, man. Just designation varies. So Bar Council has the power, regulating power to regulate this legal education. So option 2 is the only this thing. So 2 only is the correct answer. With reference to writs issued by courts in India. Do you know the answer? What is mandamus? What is mandamus? To do something public work, directing it. So I have this thing. So when it is entrusted with public duty, yes, private company can also be issued mandamus. And then when the company is government company, but it says that mandamus doesn't lie against the government company. When it is a government company, why doesn't the mandamus lie? So it is the wrong statement. When you eliminate this, another 1, 3 will be right. So if you have clarity or the definition of the concept, then your answering becomes easy. What is judicial custody? Judicial custody. Okay. There is judicial custody and police custody. Okay. Okay. So get more clarity about that. It can ask again. And what is bail, furlough and parole? Furlough, parole and bail. See, bail is before conviction. Furlough and after conviction. That's it. With reference to Indian judiciary, any retired judge, can he sit again? Does High Court have the power to review its own judgment? But the answer given by UPSC was only one. Here, that's why the confusion, because even Supreme Court said that the High Court is a court of record and it has the power of judicial review. It was said in 2022, but this question was asked in 2021. In India, separation of judiciary from executive is enjoined by which part? Which article? 50. 51. What does it talk about? What does it talk about? Peace. So Legal Service Authority, be thorough about this because UPSC is asking questions again and again. In prelims it has asked and this mains it has also asked. who are the beneficiaries of NALSA. So do you know the answer for this? It's 1 and 2 only, because you can eliminate all senior citizens. HNIs, when you take high net individuals, even they can be senior citizens. When you eliminate them, you will get only 2 options, 1, 2 and 2, 3. So within that, sometimes you have to take a risk, because I didn't know this 3 lakh or OBC or not. I took the risk and I used one, I marked this. So this one also, through elimination you can get the answer. Which statement can you eliminate? First one. What about second one? When you eliminate second one, and then fourth one. Fourth one is the right one. The details of process of impeachment is given in particular act. So this is right one, and the first one is also right one. No. First one, wrong one. First one and second one were wrong. It is the discretion of the speaker to allow or not to allow. This one is Article 142. We are talking about, like, the question is very simple. It gives election commission, it gives Supreme Court, it gives President of India and financial emergency and state legislature. Looking at these aspects of the statements, you can just make out that it is regarding Supreme Court. And just it is so easy question. Like, these questions you should never make a mistake about. This one, is it right? Can High Court invalidate the central law? Why? No, why does High Court has the power to invalidate the central law? Because we follow integrated judiciary. You know integrated judiciary, right? So both can invalidate the laws. An amendment of the constitution can be called into question by the Supreme Court of India. Is it right? It can be called. Judicial review implies. I asked someone the question, same question. What is judicial review?
Invalidate the laws which are against the provisions of the Constitution.
So which option is right here? Your definition is absolutely fine, but which option here is right? Ye. Gram Nyayalayas, possibly. We'll skip it. Who is the custodian of Constitution of India? President of India. Is defender or custodian? Who is defender? Defender. Custodian? Supreme Court is the custodian of Constitution of India because it is the final interpreter of the constitutional provisions. And it has the power of judicial review through which it ensures the constitutional supremacy. So who can increase the number of judges? President. So who can increase the number of election commissioners? Number of election commissioners. President or Parliament? President can. Which jurisdiction is this? We talked about this. Original and exclusionary jurisdiction. So NALSA again. So have a look at this NALSA when you go back. Constitutional and the other bodies. These are all easy questions which you should never go wrong about. What is the answer for this? Can you be fast? Only one? Yes, only one. Law Commission, is it a statutory body? Law Commission, is it a statutory body? Law Commission. Yes, it is a executive body. It is not a statutory body. So this one, four only. Okay. And any other answers? Answers fast. That's it. 3 and 4. It's 3. There is no governance reforms. There is no stable government. NDC, do we have to discuss about this? It's an old body. This one, mentioned in constitution. Does not find mention in constitution. Do not find mention in constitution. All the above. Schedules, like particularly 5th schedule and 6th schedule are more important. This one, this was in 2023. And there were linkages in the same schedules. I'll show two questions which was asked previously and in the later years where they had linkages. Fast. Can a president order it? Yes. And then the largest administrative unit, do you know that? We don't have much clarity about. But this thing, it's not the chief minister, it's the governor. We can eliminate this. Now we have whether 1 or 2. Definitely 1 or 2. I took 2 as the answer, but I have to see whether the answer is right or not, because the answer key isn't out yet. This one, remember this question. So what will happen when if its particular area is brought under 5th schedule? Answer fast. What would happen? Then answer bega. A. This would prevent the land, tribal land, right? Okay. Remember that question. The 9th schedule was introduced in the constitution during Indira Gandhi. Back then we discussed it. It was in First Amendment Act. So it was during Nehru. So the parliament can place particular law in 9th schedule of the Constitution of India. Why can't state legislatures? So is the statement right or wrong? First and second. Answer please. Huh? Parliament can place a law in 9th schedule, but it can be reviewed by the judiciary. So which case is that? Can you remember the case? Coelho case, 2006. The provisions in the 5th schedule and 6th schedule of the Constitution of India are made in order to schedule tribes. So which one of the following schedules of the Constitution of India contains provisions regarding anti-defection? 10th schedule. So this will skip. Home guards will skip, because those were current affairs questions. Which is the essential feature that indicates federal character? Huh? Strong center. Division of powers, and in this, which one is the answer? Judiciary. Yeah, that is the right answer. So have clarity about what are the principles behind federalism, like Council of States, and then independence of judiciary, and then rigidity of amendability of constitution, constitutional supremacy. Which one of the following is not a feature of Indian federalism? It is divided, there is independent judiciary, and then unequal representation in Rajya Sabha. Is it right or not? Which state has the highest number of representation in Rajya Sabha? How many? So minimum wage we talked about, it is given 25 years. How much? And then this you know, right? Like for the remainder of the term only the reconstitution takes place, not for the 5 years again. Which is the case that is going on regarding the panchayats, reservation in reservation for OBCs and all. Bihar, MP, Karnataka. There was one case in which Supreme Court gave guidelines. K. Krishnamurthy versus Union of India case, in which it has given some guidelines regarding how to follow this reservation policies for OBCs in local governance. The fundamental object of Panchayati Raj system. So this question was bewildering to me because it has political accountability also. There is Gram Sabha, which can ensure the accountability, but the answer given by UPSC is that 1 and 3. Because financial mobilization to wrong hai. It is wrong. So when you eliminate 4, you have C and A. Either 1, 2, 3, 1 and 3. But because Gram Sabha is there, we tend to have the answer that 1, 2, 3 is the correct answer. But UPSC says that there is no political accountability there. Gram Sabha is just a discussing thing. No accountability takes place. This one. Gram Sabha. PESA was enacted. What is not identified as its objective? C. Right. Well, then which schedule does that? 6th schedule. Right. See, when you look at the question, don't just look at the question. Look from the alternate perspective also. You'll get more clarity about what is there and what is not there. So this one, initially it used to give about the article and then ask about this thing. Amendment and then ask about the question. But they have explained it and asked about the article in it. Which one is the article? Please be fast. Which one? No, take a guess. Make mistakes. That's what you do. When you don't know this thing, you just leave it. Be imperfect and then try to progress. Article 14. Because there is arbitrary or discretionary powers. So when that involves, Article 14 comes in. So right to privacy is a part of Article 19. 20? 21? Pakka? Then you might be right. Which one of the following categories of fundamental rights incorporated against untouchability as a form of discrimination? Exploitation? Against exploitation. What are the articles? 20? 23 and 24. And what is the article of untouchability? So what is the right answer then? Equality from 14 to 18. Yes. Which article safeguards right to marry persons of one choice? 21. Why not freedom of speech and expression? Agreed. You have a logic. But it's Article 21. There was Hadia case that was going on. Which of the following are regarded as main features of rule of law? Who gave the rule of law? No. There is a scholar by name. Lakshmikant, our beloved Lakshmikant mentions it. Someone said that? Dicey. Yes, A.V. Dicey. So what are the features of it? You can eliminate one statement and you'll get the answer. Huh? See, people responsibility to the government. People are never responsible to the government. Okay. Equality before law and limitation of powers. So a rule of law limits the powers, and then liberty and civil rights. That means the answer is 1, 2 and 4. Right to privacy, again it is asked. Correctly or appropriately above statement. 21. And then which of the following correct relation between rights and duties? If I ask what is functional theory of rights? Functional theory of rights. What is the answer, by the way? Which option? Which option is the correct answer here? Rights are personal and hence independent of society and duties. Are they? So rights, not duties, are important for the advancement of personality of the citizen. Is it right? So duties, not rights, are important for the stability of the state. Duties are important for the stability of the state. Rights are correlative to duties. And what is functional theory of rights? That talks about the same thing. Rights and duties are correlative. When you do the right, you have the right, but he also has the right. It is your duty to safeguard his rights. Okay, when you have rights, you have the duties also. Which one? A. They are correlative. Which of the following are envisaged by right against exploitation in the Constitution of India? So this one is right equality, and this one is cultural and educational rights. So DPSPs. So they have simple questions in DPSPs. Which part of the Constitution declare welfare state? DPSPs. So on the features of DPSPs, they are not enforceable. So they say they are enforceable by courts. They shall not be enforceable by any court. The principles laid down in the part are to influence the making of laws by the state. What is the answer then? 2 and 3. What if I say which part says that these principles are fundamental to the governance of the country? Which article? 36, 37? 36 defines state. 37 says, I think so. Just to have more clarity on this. With reference to the Constitution, DPSPs constitute limitations upon? Are they limitations first?
No.
Rights, fundamental rights form limitations on the state authority. But DPSPs are enabling provisions. So they are not limitations at all. This is neither. So consider the following statement regarding DPSPs. So socio-economic democracy, it spells about. What about the fundamental rights? Political democracy, right? The provisions contained in these principles are not enforceable by any court. This is also again right. The ideal of welfare state, it is mentioned in DPSP. This is also a repeating theme where they asked about DPSP, what is mentioned and what is not mentioned. International peace and security, I asked about Article 51. 50? 50?
Separation of judiciary and executive.
Yes. Economic justice. One of the objective of, why not preamble? There is preamble also, buddy. Preamble as well as DPSP. Okay. That's why don't jump into conclusions as soon as you see that. There is preamble also. Socio-economic and political justice is talks about. According to the Constitution of India, which of the following are fundamental for the governance of the country? Just now I asked. DPSP. So it's state executive. So does governor makes customary address or mandatory address? Is it mandated by Constitution or not? It is mandated or not mandated? It is mandated. It is mandated. Yes, it is mandated. After every After first session of the year, as well as after every newly reconstitution of the house, the president or the governor will address the house. Is this right? Right? No. Each legislative house is given authority to lay down the procedure of its business. Procedures of that particular state legislature, it has the power. So when it doesn't have, that violates the federalism, right? So UPSC says that it is not a right statement. Which one of the following suggested the governor should be eminent person outside the state? Please be fast. It is an easy question. First ARC. First ARC. No, it is Sarkaria Commission only. This one. Can civil proceedings be instituted against the governor of the state? 2 months notice. And can they be diminished allowances and emoluments? Governor, it is not. High Court, yes. High Court judges. But usually they haven't given any context during emergency or not. But usually it can be done. Any authority, it says. Even the High Court judges. Chief Secretary is appointed by governor of that state. And he has a fixed tenure. These are all practical. Through practical knowledge, you can answer these questions. Chief Secretary, okay. He has a security of tenure or not? No, he can be appointed for 3 months also. It depends on his connection with the Chief Minister, not the governor as such. So Chief Minister appoints him. Because Chief Secretary should have personal rapport with the Chief Minister so that whatever they take the decision, they should be in consonance. That's what happened with the West Bengal and union issue. One of the secretary was not sent towards this thing. So they had the brawl and then the rules changed. So they can recall at any point of time. Union can. Chief Minister appoints him. Chief Minister. Bro, this is UPSC answer, I am telling. I haven't made up this. Discretionary powers of governor of a state. This possibly can come again because this is in news. So, can you tell us which one can you eliminate? Appointing the ministers, because Chief Minister, appointing Chief Minister, is it a discretionary power or not? But he has the discretion to appoint the Chief Minister and then ask him to prove the majority. He has to do it, but it is discretionary power also. But with respect to other ministers, he should take the they are appointed by on the advice of Chief Minister, but not otherwise. Yes, making the rules of conduct. This is also a wrong statement. This is state legislature that does. Business of the state government. No. This is done by governor itself, but state governments on state government advice it is done. Which one? 1 and 3. 2 is anyway wrong. When you eliminate 2, you will have only 1 and 3. Try to eliminate as much as possible. The Speaker of Legislative Assembly shall vacate his office if he ceases to be member of the Assembly. Whenever Legislative Assembly is dissolved, the Speaker shall vacate his office immediately. Need not. But first one? Okay, then only one is the right answer, right? But you have to be careful that sometimes there is not correct will be given. We overlook that. We think that the question is asking which are correct and then we mark that. So be mindful of that. the Legislative Council of a state in India larger than the half of the Legislative Assembly. Is it right? What is the value? 1/5. 1/3. 1/3. When you have the practical experience of it, like Karnataka has 224 MLAs in Legislative Assembly, 75 in Legislative Council. It's 1/3. So if you are from Maharashtra, have that particular numbers in your mind, and then find the equation. And he nominates chairman of the Legislative Council of particular state. Is it right? Is he nominated? He is elected. So it is emergency provisions. So what is the right answer? Be fast. First one, A. Then legislature shall be exercisable by or under the authority of parliament. Yes. See, automatically the assembly is not dissolved. The council of ministers will be removed. That particular assembly will be in a suspended animation until the parliament approves the president's rule. President's rule can be imposed, but unless the parliament approves that within 2 months, so this thing house will not be dissolved. So they say that automatically dissolved. It doesn't happen. No, it is suspended. Suspended. It is not dissolved. Yes. If inappropriately used, the Supreme Court has the power to reinstate the dissolved assembly. Sarkaria, I think SR Bommai case. President's rule proclamation. What happens? Dissolution of state legislative assembly. Not necessarily the consequence. See, it will definitely happen. 1 and 3 is the answer. So this was one of the hardest question that was asked, because 3:2 is the correct ratio, but 600 into 400 was also in 3:2 ratio. So everyone thought that is the right answer. But there are 9 particular standard measurements which is given, which doesn't have 600 into 400. So sometimes we will not know that. So I can't help that. Huh? I did attempt. I went wrong. The first statement is wrong. Second statement is right. That means D is the answer. So this one I thought that I'll involve in fundamental rights, but I thought that somehow it is miscellaneous. So is it a part of Article 18? What does Article 18 talk about? No, what does it talk about? Okay. So what is the right answer then for here in this question? We're suspended only once. And then the number of which one? You have read the question, I understood. That's why I wanted to make sure that read the question. It is not correct. Maximum of 5 they have said, only 3. Maximum of 3. Because back then Bhupen Hazarika, Atal Bihari Vajpayee, I think 3 people were given this thing. That was the highest number of Bharat Ratnas given at once. Like there was current affairs news. With reference to India, consider the following statement. This one, is it parole a right? Is parole a right? But Supreme Court says that bail is the rule, jail is the exception. Yeah, exactly. It is not a right for a person who is convicted to ask for parole. They are suggesting that make a general bail bill, which similar to UK's law, where bail is the usual law. Bail is given immediately as soon as possible. Have their own prison release on parole rules. These rules, the states have. Why?
State subject.
It is a state subject. Yeah, state subject. MP lads question. This was in news at that point of time because it was suspended because of COVID issue, and then that's when the question was asked. Do we want to discuss this? So in the context, which one of the following is a characteristic appropriate for bureaucracy? Which one? Implementing. Nice. The other three also right. That does the same thing. But the thing is that characteristic appropriate for bureaucracy. So the first principle or the purpose of bureaucracy is this thing. If they had said formulation of policies, would it be right? They does help in formulating the policies. They don't take decisions. Political executive takes the decisions. Fundamental duties. Is there a legislative process to enforce these duties? Was it suggested? Which committee? Which year? 76. They are correlative to legal duties. When I attempted, I thought that this was right, but UPSC said you are wrong. Option D. Right to vote and to be elected in India is a, see here. That's this question I talked about in the past. There is legal right also. Then what is the answer? You got the difference right. What is legal rights and what is constitutional right? All constitutional rights are legal rights, but not all legal rights are constitutional rights. It is constitutional. If constitutional right was not given, then it would be legal right. Cabinet Secretariat, you can eliminate and get the answer. Financial resource, it doesn't allocate. It doesn't have the powers. But other two, at least secretarial assistance, preparation of agenda, it makes sense. Sometimes it makes sense and you can answer this. I think this is the last question. So with respect to Indian history, it was history question, sorry, my bad. The members of Constituent Assembly from the provinces were?
Nominated by
B. What happened with princely states then? Princely state members were nominated. So these were elected by provincial legislative assemblies. This was indirect election still. So that's how it is. This is how the program runs, and we make a mandatory assignments every day regarding these subjects on these various sets. That syllabus will be given for you, and then we hope that you are consistent and committed towards this and more passionate about this exam, this particular program. If you are not passionate, you can leave also. If you are not passionate in the sense that if your 3 days of leave is taken by you, we will terminate your membership from this program. And we are serious about this. We're not trying to make money out of this, but make value out of this. Last year, there was a program for 25 people, in which I was also part of that. 7 of we got into the mains writing, but 2 or 3 of us got into this interview. So that's how we want to make value, make impact on your preparation, and try to attend it on the next session on 9th. I think you'll get the schedule of it, and the test is on 18th. If you get selected in that test, only then we will allow you to attend the program. It will be more exhaustive. On 9th it will be history. On 11th it will be economy, and then I'll go to environment, and then lastly I'll handle the geography. but I'll be faster than this one. I'll have less questions in that. I'll be faster, because I said it was 1 hour, but I took 2.5 hours. Because if I had taken it in 1 hour, you wouldn't have understood many things. Any questions from your side? See, most of the times mandatorily only will be the wrong statement. Mostly it is understood that when only and mandatorily is used, mostly it will be wrong. But you have to think twice in that statement. You should have some or the other knowledge, basic knowledge, conceptual clarity while attempting those questions. Like, give me the question, I'll try to deduce how the answer will be chosen by me. Give me a question. If at all you come into the class, give me a question, I'll try. Yeah, thank you. And then any other questions? Sir, I studied newspapers and I was regular with newspaper analysis. Usually it was DNS. In YouTube, you'll get it for free. I used to be consistent with that. The thing is that it used to revise whatever I studied in the newspaper, and it used to go into the background of the news. DNS, Daily News Simplified, in YouTube. You can get that. And any other thing? 22nd. So from 22nd, we will start the complete program for 50 days. The thing is that we get distracted easily, because this UPSC process makes us lonely. We don't talk to people much. We don't interact with them. But when we interact them, we get distracted from this exam. So to avoid that thing, we want to have consistency in the preparation. And when we cover these all things, it will build the confidence in you. And then through consistency and discipline, we ensure that maybe, if not all, at least 15 to 20 members get into mains rating. This is what we have targeted for.
What will be the agenda when this classes starts regularly? Like you'll be discussing previous questions.
No. I'm just telling how my approach, how I'll approach. Like through elimination, through knowing these things, through understanding the clarity, through be mindful about the statements that is given, reading the question twice, thinking again.
So one subject will get how many classes?
Around 10 classes.
Most of them will be like tackling the prelims and discussing.
No, I'll tell you. See, every day there will be, we'll give the syllabus that we are going to cover. You'll have to make assignments regarding that briefly. Let's say I give constitution, fundamental rights, duties and DPSPs on one day. You'll just have to make the features of it, what are the rights in there, and what are the brief provisions regarding that. And then you have to submit it to attend the test. There will be daily tests, 25 questions, including CSAT. 5 questions of CSAT and 20 questions of this subject. When I use 20 questions for fundamental rights, duties and DPSPs, I can cover largely all the aspects of these topics. So that's how we have planned to. And within 10 days, we have to complete the polity section. Also, on the last day, you will have full-length sectional test, so that you revise it. It will have current affairs also. And then once the first subject is over, the first subject test will be conducted, sectional test. But when the second test is over, second and first test will be conducted, to make sure that you remember the first subject also. And when third subject is finished, we'll conduct the test for third and second subject, not the first, third and second. But when it is fourth and third, fifth and fourth, like this, we want to ensure that a revision happens throughout the process. It's not that completely one particular subject and you unlearn or unremember all the other aspects of it. And there will be analysis also. We'll tell that where you are lacking in which subject, and then we'll give recommendations accordingly. And then mentorship, daily 5 members I will take, based on what actually the problems they are facing. They can discuss, and where we can provide our best, we'll do that. and you'll get these assignments. We'll compile it every day. Best assignment we will upload in the Telegram channel where they can revise it, and once 50 days is over, we will compile every 50 assignments, and then we'll give it as a revision material for easy revision. That's it. Thank you for being patient with me.